Well, hello everyone, Cliff Ravenscraft here, coming to you with a Facebook live stream. For those of you who are watching the replay, welcome. And for those of you who are listening to my voice via the Audio Journal podcast, I've decided that I'm going to start taking the audio from all of the vlog content that I'm going to be creating over the next several months, and also all of the audio from these Facebook live streams that I'll do and stuff like that. I'm going to be including audio of all of that in my Audio Journal podcast. For those of you guys that don't know this, I have a special premium podcast, which gives a lot of behind the scenes stuff. It's pretty much for my true fans in my community. If you love the stuff that I'm doing in this world, check it out over at mindsetanswerman.com/audio journal. That's mindsetanswerman.com/audio journal. All right, so today in this live stream, I'm just home from the gym. Hello, Freya Casey. Welcome to the Facebook live stream. Anyway, I'm just home from San Diego this weekend and just got back from the gym. It's the first time I've been to my home gym with my wife, who is my workout partner, in a week. So it was 1 week ago that we last went to the gym together. I've worked out since then, but it's nice to be back home. It's nice to work out with Stephanie and to slowly edge my way back into routine. I love routine. All right, so for those of you who are tuning into the live stream, there are a couple topics that I chose to pique people's interest, maybe popping in because they're waiting to hear what I have to say about some of the topics that I threw into the description of this live stream video. So yes, Stefan says it sounds like bacon, and that is definitely bacon that you hear sizzling in the background. All right, so one of my recent passions has been to completely consume tons of content related to Brexit. I don't know why I find the debate about what's going on with the UK and their decision to, they still haven't come up with whatever decision. But anyway, of course, they voted 2 years ago to do Brexit. They haven't come up with what they're going to do yet. But what happened was something showed up in my YouTube news feed, and it was something featuring a soundbite. Hello, Christy Sanborn. Glad to have you here. It was a soundbite from the House of Parliament, and they were debating Brexit. But more than anything, it was featuring John Bercow. Now, John Bercow is the Speaker of the House, and never heard of the guy before. And the funny thing is I've been schooled and trained in the art of parliamentary procedure and debate style using parliamentary procedure. I was a part of an organization in high school that taught us parliamentary procedure, and I used to love to debate using that. And the funny thing is I've never had any interest in Parliament and understanding where parliamentary procedure came from. But then I found this video of John Bercow basically putting people in their place. It's like, listen, I'm going to tell you how we're going to have order in the chambers here of the House of Parliament, and just this guy's thick, deep voice, and he's like, order, order, I will have order. And it reminds me of Harry Potter and Dolores Umbridge when she goes, I will have order. Anyway, it is hilarious to see how Parliament actually does debate. It's so argumentative, but it is the most fierce, in-your-face debate, but it's polite. So I found this one YouTube clip, and then all of a sudden I start researching more about John Bercow, looking for more clips of him, basically keeping order in the House of Parliament. And of course, most of these clips is about Brexit. So that's what got me really interested and intrigued about what's going on with the world of Brexit. But first I'll talk about John Bercow and just learning what his role and his responsibility as the Speaker of the House. I just found it fascinating. I found an entire interview with him doing or talking about what his responsibility is and how he's done quite a bit of reform to the way that things are handled in Parliament. And through this, then I found, like, a couple of those explanation videos that talk about how Parliament works, and I learned about let's see here, it's the House of Lords and the House of Commons, I think, and that the Lords are like almost an inherited kind of deal. It's kind of like they're appointed by the Crown and the bishops. But then you've got the House of Commons, which is your voted elected officials from the populace. And just one of the things that I love is that everybody is called the Right Honorable Gentleman or the Right Honorable Lady. And they never address each other by name, but they talk about each other in the third person and how they have, it's required. It is an absolute requirement that you are civil to one another, and you can never, not once is it even tolerated that you ever impugn somebody as being a liar or a deceiver. And when it does happen, boy, does John Bercow tell it how it is. It's like, no, that will, and the best part is when he basically says, the Right Honorable Gentleman, the Lord of Sussex, or the Lord of Sussex, will withdraw that statement. And then he's like, I order, and you will withdraw that statement. And the guy refuses to withdraw the statement, and he kicks him out. It's so much fun. So, and then all of a sudden I'm like, okay, so now I'm interested in learning more about Brexit. I want to understand what they're talking about when they're having this debate. There's Mark Mason says, you're enabling my extreme procrastination this morning. Well, welcome to a morning break, Mark Mason. Anyway, so so I'm about what is the back door, the backstop or whatever. This is fascinating stuff. So I've pretty much caught up on the last 2 years of what's been going on with Brexit within the last, I'd say 48 hours, maybe a little bit longer. I started on the plane ride back from San Diego. And it's just fascinating. I don't have any opinions one way or the other. It's fascinating to hear both sides debate this. The people who are absolutely convinced that this is going to be the worst thing on the planet for the UK if they actually exit with no deal. And of course, the idea of them actually exiting with a deal with the European Union does not look very promising at all. And then, of course, those who want to put it back to a referendum and have everybody vote again, it is just insane. So Mark Mason says, what's my 30-second summary of Brexit? Well, my 30-second summary of Brexit is the people in the UK have made a vote to say, do we still want to have the European Union help govern what we're doing in our country, in the United Kingdom? So basically, do we want to live up to the EU standards? And do we want them to have anything to say with the laws and how we govern our sovereign nations? And also, the question of, do we want to be paying all of our money in taxes and be sending that off to the EU to determine for themselves what it is and all this other stuff? And Greg Vance is saying it's about sovereignty, and that's exactly it. It's the right of the people of the UK to decide for themselves what their laws are. But I guess it was in the 90s, late 90s. I can't remember when they joined the European Union, or maybe it was the 70s. I'm getting so much information all jumbled in my head. But anyway, they've been a part of the EU now for so long that it's hard for a lot of people to imagine what life would be like if you don't do this. And of course, they're one of the biggest. Okay, there are lots of issues, but two significant issues that I hear as what I see as the biggest concerns is this border between the Republic of Ireland and Northern Ireland. Now, the Republic of Ireland is its own sovereign nation, and it is a part of the EU. It is not a part of the UK, but Northern Ireland, 1973. I should remember that because is it Owley? Anyway, Shar says that they joined in 1973. I should remember that because I was born in 1973. Anyway, I thought it was in the 70s that they joined. Anyway, so the Republic of Ireland is its own nation, and they are a part of the EU. And the Northern Ireland is a part of the UK. And if they leave, by the way, before they joined the EU, the problem was there was this border dispute at all times between the Republic of Ireland and Northern Ireland. And so there was all of this stuff that was happening there, and there's a division between the people. And of course, I don't know anything about the IRA or anything like that, but I know there were bombings and just crazy stuff. And there's a lot of people who are afraid that if they leave the European Union, then they're going to have to put a border back in Ireland between the Republic of Ireland and Northern Ireland. If they bring that border back, they're afraid it's going to bring those tensions back once again, and that they don't want that. Then there's this thing called the backstop, which was a part of the deal that I think that Theresa May was negotiating, but it's not going to go anywhere, I don't think. So the backstop says, okay, we won't put the border there. We'll put it before it. There's the border in Ireland. That's a major one. Then there's the port of Dover, I think, is where all the trades come in and all the container ships are brought in for all of the goods that are imported. And right now, because they're a part of the European Union, just anything that's coming from European countries basically just comes on through. They load them onto lorries, or they load them onto 18-wheeler trucks, or big semi trucks, and they just truck that stuff on in. Well, if we act like I'm a UK citizen, but if they do this Brexit thing, then what happens is that they'll have to, all of those trucks, 2,000 trucks a day, I think, or something like that is what I've heard, will have to be inspected and go through customs. And they said that even if they were stopped only for 27 seconds per truck, it would back up the import of goods 6 days. So it is awesome to just hear people debate this stuff. And so I'm really enjoying this, not the least of which I enjoy the British accent in debate, in passionate debate, with John Bercow specifically going, "Order!" You have to go check it out. Just it's fun. So yeah, there's that. Oh, by the way, I have to bear with me. I'm going to come over here and cook my eggs. And I need to also put my cinnamon toast. I got Ezekiel bread, cinnamon and raisin toast for breakfast this morning to go with my bacon. So what were the other topics that I talked about? So Brexit, John Bercow, I think I said Apple announcements. I just downloaded iOS 12 onto my phone this morning, and it's currently installing on my iPad Pro. I am not an Apple News fan. In fact, believe it or not, I'm more interested in UK Brexit news than I've ever been in my own political followings. I'm just not a very political-minded person, except for now I'm really into Brexit. I've probably consumed about at least 8 or 9 hours worth of content related to Brexit and Parliament and their proceedings over there. But anyway, Apple News talked about they purchased the app called Texture, excuse me, which is an app that allows you to pay a monthly fee. I think it's $10 a month, and you get access to pretty much most magazine publications out there. And Apple bought them, and now you can pay $9.99 a month, and you can get Apple News Plus, and you get the first month free, which is what I'm going to sign up for today. I'm going to take a look at it. I'm not really interested in news, using the news app for for actual news, but I am interested in magazines. I like entrepreneurial magazines. I like business, other business magazines. I like science. I like National Geographic articles. Stuff like that really interests me. I never really, it's been a long, they have men's fitness magazine, stuff like that. So I'm really looking forward to that. Let's see what Mark Mason says. Hey, news junkie, aren't you supposed to be preparing the world's most amazing marriage retreat? Actually, I'll bring, yes, Mark, I am. But the thing is Stephanie, who is, that scared me. The toast just popped up. Stephanie, who is supposed to be co-planning that with me, is on a field trip today. So we are going to be working evenings and all around the clock the rest of the week. But yes, you're correct. So anyway, so I am interested in checking out these magazine subscriptions. The one thing that I like about it, it's $10 a month. You get access to all of the magazines that they have in their plan, which is a lot of them. And I would imagine even more will come on board now that this has been announced. And it's not just for you. So I could pay $10 a month, and if I decide to keep it, my entire family gets their own account. So it's on family sharing. So I pay $10 a month. I have my news app, which tracks which magazines are in my quote unquote favorites folder, where I'm at in each of these articles and stuff like that, and what I've marked that I like, and my own personal recommendations. But just like Apple Music, my entire family gets access as well. So I really enjoy that fact. Hold on one second. I've got my bacon and eggs, my toast. That's what I'm missing. Grab my toast over here. And Ezekiel bread. Good stuff. So yeah, anyways, just like that, they get their own version of the app and stuff like that. So we're an Apple Music subscription family. I am going to do the free month of Apple News. Check it out on my iPad. I love the fact that it's also well formatted. Many of the publications will be well formatted for my iPhone as well. I don't know. I'm going to try it out. I'm interested in Apple News Plus just for magazine subscriptions. I was almost ready to buy a subscription to Texture before Apple bought them, but I'm kind of glad. And who knows, I may actually see some news articles in there, but I'm not really a news junkie. Okay, so, although I guess maybe I am right now. I'm currently a Brexit news junkie. What else? Anything else? I can't remember if I put it. Oh, you know what? Apple had some other announcements, things that I wasn't as interested in, at least not right now. I obviously things are a little ways off when it comes to. I got to get a fork out of here. Things are a little bit off until later before they do the what is it called? The arcade, Apple Arcade. And so a gaming subscription. You know what? I play a lot of Toon Blast, and I love Toon Blast, and I don't ever end up paying money for it. I've never had a problem paying for apps that are good. I paid for the original Monument Valley, so I've never had a problem paying for a good game that everybody's talking about. I don't know if I will use the Apple Arcade, but if they give a free month to it, I might actually sign up for a free month and see if that's anything worth looking at. Apple TV Plus, I don't have an opinion on that right off the bat. Nothing that they announced, and the celebrities that they brought on stage, none of that was really all that appealing to me. I am a Netflix subscriber. I am a Hulu subscriber. We have HBO Go for Game of Thrones, final season coming up. We do subscribe to Starz when Outlander is on. And the only thing is that, and I'm thinking about CBS All Access just for a period of time to watch Star Trek Discovery, which I haven't watched yet, but I still need to finish Enterprise. That's the only Star Trek I've not finished. So, not sure how I feel about the Apple TV Plus subscription either. But anyway, those are the things that are going on here. I wanted to just do a live stream, hang out with you guys. Mark Mason says, I thought the Apple announcement was weird, sort of random list of unconnected stuff. Actually, Mark, Of course, I watched Mac Break Weekly. I knew that most of this stuff was all coming ahead of time. And I think that it's actually all connected in that Apple is looking for a way to maintain a consistent flow of recurring revenue through services. And so if you look at it that way, I mean, they already got my Apple iCloud subscription. I paid $10 a month for 2 terabytes of storage. I already paid $15 a month, I think, for Apple Music for the entire family. I may end up paying $10 a month for this Apple News Plus if the magazines are really good. And the reason why I know that I might be interested in this is I was a subscriber to The Daily. It was like when the iPad was first announced, there was this, I think it was Robert Murdoch or whatever, spent lots of money for this really highly produced, interactive magazine called The Daily, and it was incredible. I loved The Daily. I remember that's how I consumed and learned everything about what was going on with the earthquake in Japan and the following tsunami and everything. I was glued to The Daily magazine. So anyway, but the subscriptions is where it's all at for Apple, is where they see some way to tie in. And you know what? Who knows? I may actually, if they do the whole family sharing for the games, and it's $10 a month, then I could see myself doing that. And as far as the TV, we're a TV household. And so, I don't know. We'll see. So I think it's all connected in that it's like we have all of these devices that are Apple related, and the fact that they're even making it to where even if you don't have an iPhone, even if you don't have an iPad or a iMac or a Mac-based computer, if you have a smart TV, they're going to start putting the ability to access Apple TV on those things. And even Apple Music is now is available on our Amazon voice-activated device over there. So I think it's all connected. I think that it makes a lot of sense for Apple to get into these new ventures, and I think they are bringing the right people on board to see some success with it. So anyway, those are my thoughts on Brexit. Parliament in the UK, John Bercow. I am a huge fan of just the way he organizes and leads the House of Parliament. It's incredible, so much fun. And now my iPad is finished updating to 12.2. I'm going to download the News app, sign up for my free month of Apple News Plus so I can check out some magazines, and I'm going to eat my bacon and eggs. So, guys, thanks so much for hanging out with me here this morning. And for those of you who are subscribers to the Audio Journal, thank you so much for your subscription and your support via Patreon. Again, for those of you who maybe are catching my live stream here, but you may not catch all of them, you can subscribe to the audio of everything that I share in my vlogs and in my Facebook streams and any other random content that's made just for my most loyal, true fans in my community. It's a Patreon thing over at mindsetanswerman.com/audio journal. Mindsetanswerman.com/audio journal. Guys, until next time, I encourage you to take everything you do, including your passions about anything that sparks your interest, to the next level. Bye-bye.